Welcome back everyone to round 2 of our Dev Insight talking about Season 1 for Paladins. Last week we went over the first proposed system talking about ways to solve some of the issues that have been brought up in the community around making gold valuable, making mastery more meaningful, making open radiant chests more exciting and also more meaningful, and solving some of the balance issues and encouraging more exciting play with the customization of every character. We talked a little bit about card upgrades and how talents would work. And I'm here to kind of talk about what we're working on now following all the feedback you guys gave last week. I want to thank everyone that got very involved on the forums and all the social media areas talking about the changes that are upcoming, and also the people that just broke down what they would like to see and isolated some of the core ideas that really worked well for you. So in this round, talking about how we're making changes. So we're taking the talents that we talked about previously, which for those of you who didn't catch that, it was more around taking one part of your build as a character and supercharging it, making it really powerful, making it super meaningful. Let's say you're playing Cassie and you really like Blast Shot. So you'll be able to take a talent, supercharge Blast Shot, make it powerful in some way. Maybe it is really big or has a bunch of damage to it. And that way you can kind of lean your build in a specific direction and have your own customized Cassie playstyle. So we're gonna take that idea and shift it a little bit. So the talents themselves, we want to turn back into cards. This will allow you to collect them for specific characters. This means they won't also be put behind mastery either. You'll be able to get them if you have the currency to do so. And then looking at the loadouts to leave them exactly as they are. We're going to go ahead and not do card upgrades and take that off the table, so you won't have any stat increases or flat values on the cards themselves, which I'm sure a lot of people were very eager to hear the results of that. And instead, looking more towards the Radiant chest to make that more meaningful. A lot of feedback last week pointing to the fact that players really want to be able to spend their gold on the Radiant chest, and I think we have a really cool system that I'm excited to share with you on how to make the Radiant chest more awesome. So, we're going to make the Radiant chest purchasable with gold. However, to get rid of the weirdness of spending gold to get gold, the Radiant chest will no longer provide gold. Instead, the Radiant chest will now provide a new kind of currency, a crafting currency that we haven't found a name for yet. But this crafting currency will then be spent on cards. So instead of unlocking cards with gold, you'll now need this new kind of currency, which will be available, and we'll have more details as we get closer to the release of Season 1, on cards to unlock them for your champion. To go along with this, we're planning to add a rarity to each set of cards. So Incitement 1, 2, 3, and 4, but all of Incitement would be just Incitement, and that will have a rarity associated with it, something like common, rare, epic, legendary along those lines. We'll make the new powerful cards, like the legendaries, like the talents, at the highest rarity value, so that they're more difficult to get. You'll still pick them in the beginning of the match, so you'll pick one legendary that will modify your build in a very meaningful way, and then a loadout, and lock that in for the match. You'll have a 5-card loadout, and you'll have a legendary, and maybe they all affect Blast Shot, maybe they don't for Cassie. But that way, you're more focused on spending that gold to get Radiant chests. You're getting crafting currency for duplicates that you can now spend on new cards, some of them rarer and more powerful than others. And we'll go through and kind of tweak some of the cards that are in there and make sure the legendaries are really exciting and interesting. Now you may be asking what's going to happen with gold and how is the ratio between gold and this new crafting currency going to work? Obviously, we are still planning to do a lot of new additions to the mastery system for champions, so we'll still have mastery skins on the way, emotes, poses, all kinds of custom titles and sprays. So there's gonna be a lot of things for you to spend your gold on and unlock. Along with this, there's obviously the recolors and other cosmetic content outside of the mastery system you'll be able to spend your gold on. So gold will still be very valuable, and obviously gold will still be spent on Radiant chests, which will give you more cards and more crafting currency. So from that standpoint, we hope this addresses a lot of the concerns that folks had that gave feedback last week on the Season 1 changes. We'll have more updates later this week, and I'm looking forward to hearing all the conversations you guys have around whether this is kind of the direction you're liking a lot for Season 1, and we hope this makes Paladins even better than it was before, and we're excited to get into your hands to get some feedback on it.